pulled out in game number 1. The instant Annie lock-in as Ruler this time around without his Aphelios. It looks like he's just going to return to one of his favorites. Now for Ruler, he's played 9 Varus games so far. This would be game number 10, but look, let's be real, it should be coming through. But Kanavi back on this pick, that was the danger.
I'm interested as well because for Kanavi, I mean, jungle's still a little bit left open considering that Bright Lee Sin, we've seen him having performances, Maokai as well if they wanted to opt into AD Soul lanes, but it looks like they might not want to change their path so far. Going up against TT, they still don't know exactly where this Annie goes. YaoYao hasn't played it yet. Ucal does have one game. Yeah. So, you know, we can keep our eyes on it, potentially going into that mid lane role. And it sets up for TT to maybe just go back to the Wukong, even more signaling that the AP Soul laners are going to be what's coming through, at least in that mid lane, right? So now for TT, I think it's about looking towards AD carry. And like you said, now with things like Aphelios off the table and even Zeri, we're kind of going down further into that pool. When you have TT, you can always pay attention to things like the Jhin as well. You know, when you have Huanfeng's Rift. Caitlyn has been a thing for... I feel like set teams have played Caitlyn and have played Caitlyn really well. And then other teams like TT have played it, but they haven't been one of the teams that have leaned on it as heavily as some other teams in the league have.
He's also played Ziggs quite a lot. And you're running an AD mid. So let's see what direction this goes as we get Sion on the other side of the rift. Maybe not Ziggs anymore. As JDG just set themselves the front line. 369 changing roles this game.
And that was one of the things I've always loved about 369, going all the way back to 2019 and 2020, was that when you had people like Zoom playing, you know, more of the weak side, you have the Shy being the epitome of carry top laners, is that 369 was always that guy who could flex either way, would always play aggressive no matter what, but could play the tanks competently, can play carries, and now they're going to put more emphasis potentially on Knight having more of an impact this game with 369 on that role. So maybe look for, I guess it depends on what bans we get coming out now, because we already see some mid lane bans coming out for TT, because you always could look to get Knight on an advantageous matchup, assuming that it's Ucal piloting that Jayce, which when you have Hoya top lane, I feel like you have to assume that it will be Ucal bringing out that champion.
Yeah, Hoya is someone who, you know, still has the options like Jack's available. Ornn's there again, if you want to go in that similar direction. Right now, not too much being banned outside of the Gwen, the Xayah actually taken away from Huanfeng, as we're talking about. 80 carries have been limited, far and few between for Huanfeng. Cassio is something that we've seen consistently, and against Knight, I can understand why, considering his history, especially in the meta we're in. Knight's uniques gather around us. 16 for him, 15 or 14 for Ucal. The numbers are just high. Just keep that up there. Lyric, what direction next? Knight still has something like the Syndra if he wants to return to that here in this game again. Yeah,
you have the Syndra, so that's something I'm keeping my eyes out on. We've seen things like the Azir still just picked into the Jayce and just look for that push. Ahri is a champion we obviously got last game. She did receive some slight buffs coming into this patch, so that's what it'll be. Things like her base armor and health being increased, so that always helps, especially matching into an AD soul lane with that armor. The Spirit Rush cooldown also got buffed, so having more opportunities to make plays, and that's what you're gonna wait.
Finally. Dude, have we seen this yet? Like, it's been talked about in so many other regions.
So we're getting the bot lane Cho'Gath. I don't think it was played in any other region until today, because T1 actually had just pulled it out. Like, during our broadcast, T1 played it in their last series, and T1 did come out with a win. So, I'll be honest, I'm not really too familiar with this champion. I know, you know, it's about going to that Qmax and that bot lane. Typically, it's paired with the Senna, but this time I'm going to go with the Rakan.
That was the biggest thing about it, is like people saying, oh, it's so good with Senna, but people are playing it outside the matchup as Cho'Gath versus Thresh is what we could be looking at. Even with something like AShe available, they're like, hey, what do we want to do? Okay, never mind. Listen to Papa Hysterics. Sometimes he says things that end up happening. As we get our 2v2 is expected from Ruler and Missing, but like, a difference from TT.
I was going to say, or do you flex the Cho'Gath up into the Sion and play Jayce bot? I don't know, because, you know, that's a good matchup. That's the matchup that Cho'Gath's been played into many times. When I look at these compositions, like I said, I'm not too familiar with the bot lane Cho'Gath. I'm super stoked to see how this one plays out, but in my mind, it's like, okay, how are TT going to close these gaps? You're going to assume a lot's going to be on YaoYao and Beichuan shoulders to make sure that Huanfeng is able to get in range to be able to deal a consistent amount of damage. You have really solid...
All JDG need is another game, and they go into playoffs. Ladies and gentlemen, if they win this series regardless, it's playoffs time for JDG with our third secured team here in the LPL 2023.
And we know we're going to be putting a big focus on this Cho'Gath. It was a champion that received buffs coming onto this patch. Things like his Rupture, his Q, getting not only like mana buffs, but also the damage going up. Your W got some mana buffs as well. You got more armor coming in with each level. So some quite nice buffs across the board for a champion that a lot of people already considered strong. He is going to run the Comet to go for some of those trades with the Q. You also typically do go, like we see Resolve Secondary, and usually you see the Second Wind come out to be able to try to keep up from a lot of like the poke that you're dealing with in that lane, but isn't going to go for it this time. So him and YaoYao going to have to sync up really well together and make sure they don't get too heavily traded out before they can find some of the damage they want onto just the oppression that a Varus and AShe deliver.
Beichuan going to get spotted out by a ward in the meantime, though. Rupture used over the wall. It is a gentleman Cho'Gath, by the way, as Knight just walks into Ucal here. Missing is alongside him. It's a charm start. Ucal, oh no, he thought he could get the trade. He holds on to Flash. He just goes down willingly, knowing he's dead. The first blood to Knight's Ahri.
See, the analogy keeps up. Miguel became a bit of a... what's a broadcast appropriate word? Yeah, I didn't want to go with bully. I feel like what Miguel became was even worse. But
it starts with D.
Knight looking for his revenge this time around after the heavy focus that came into him in that first game. So already able to force the TP out from Ucal. So that means if they can once again kind of chunk him low, potentially force out a reset, it's not going to be that good. He could potentially lose out on more minions, more experience, and it could set Knight up for even more success.
With that first kill going over, I mean, you got to feel like JDG off the races already again. We'll see how Kanavi can influence the lane as this time around. You know, similar to the Syndra, Knight's going to have great setup here for Kanavi to influence. As bottom side, everyone's converging. Ucal, he didn't burn the flash before, but now the flash comes through. Charm again! But this time Ucal burned the flash in Lyric. He just TP'd back to lane.
Exactly. TP now blown. Kill gone over. No flash up. If Knight can get this in, that's going to be some CS denied. Doesn't look like you should be able to with Beichuan just waiting in the wings here. But, man, it's been a great first 3 minutes by JDG.
God, the commitment from Knight, like hitting the mark, beautifully done. And, you know, Kanavi, again, really great influence here in this early game. This time around, though, Knight is not going to be the one to experience the bullying. It is, yeah, as you said, it's a perfect analogy from Karate Kid. As Ucal, as he walks back to lane, he'll be able to catch most of this. Still going to be down quite a bit here with a lead in kills, lead in CS through mid, jungle even leading in CS as well, as JDG already 1,100 gold at 3.5 minutes.
Yeah, it's not looking too good for them. I'm scared we might never even get to see this Cho'Gath get off the ground if JDG can keep snowballing this. Again, they're going to keep this advantage in bot with the range matchup that they have. You can see Knight already starting to hover over. One of the things we need to remember about Cho'Gath is his passive, right? So you are going to heal whenever you do take down those minions or find any kills. So that's why he's able to do a decent job sustaining up. But Pot's already down on him as well. And then 369 doing a fine time managing this top lane matchup.
Yeah, he's actually not missing out on too much CS for now. It's about a 5 difference for Hoya here, but trade's going quite well as 369 misses that time around, but Ucal getting a bit of help from Beichuan towards mid for the meantime. Ucal's going to get the shove in here. He's not too far behind on CS himself either, considering what happened, but still, those resources that went over to Kanavi and Knight, that's what led to this 1,000 and a bit gold lead. And that's what led to a Dark Seal and Sapphire Crystals. Missy's going to get engaged on. He's healed up. He has flash, but Raptor double hit. Huanfeng gets the kill, melee range, and that's a beautiful punish from TT's bottom lane.
One of the reasons you're seeing the Cho'Gath is, right, that CC chain that's able to come through. Great by them to be able to punish from such an early start. We were just questioning, hey, are we going to get to a point in the game where we really get to see the relevance of this bot lane duo and Huanfeng and YaoYao coming in strong to show us early?
Beautiful stuff. A bit of a jumpy castle here with Missing standing up too far.
Yeah, we see right there. Gets to knock it from Rakan straight into just a perfect chain from Huanfeng, and then able to go in to finish that one off. The auto, the E there to capitalize. And again, I'm curious to see when this really comes into strength. Usually it's been the Rod of Ages for the Cho'Gath. I have seen some people like messing around with Rocket Belt. I don't know if I would really expect to see that one come out, but things like Shirelia's on YaoYao also will be a really big power spike, making sure that they can get into range and deliver that damage that we saw just now is very potent.
Biggest question though, as YaoYao starts roaming mid, is why Huanfeng's Gentleman Cho'Gath again has an English VO. Like, I haven't heard him speak yet, but it sounds the exact same. As I pause, Beichuan getting zoned out from the dragon. Then Kanavi started up. Knight is not that strong, but still, I mean, it's an Ahri early on as YaoYao sets up and engage. Goes in, but doesn't get the dragon. Now Beichuan has to fly the charm. Connects onto the support. Knight has another one to go down. YaoYao has to run for the hills. Knight's taking a bit of damage, but Kanavi is taking matters into his own hands. Vault Breaker in at melee and gets the other one too. Kanavi just doesn't like dying on Vi here today.
No, Kanavi and Ruler running them down. Now Hoya might be doing the same. 2-3-6-9, has flash, has ulti. He's doing just fine. But JDG, same as last game, right? Off to a tremendous gold lead, this time through different positions. Top lane is the sacrificial lamb. It's all about getting mid and bot accelerated. Bot lane hasn't been able to find too much of a CS lead, but still now with those kills on Ruler, with kills on Knight Kanavi, they're off to such a fast start.
But Lyric, 0-3 is a tough in this series. So when you look at that, Ucal is only just getting started.
They go in with it. Ucal has the Tibbers, but still, the fact that Beichuan has to flash out and that the knockup by the Rakan had already been missed means that Kanavi's just able to run this down. Vault Breaker coming up at the last second, guarantees our first kill, and I love that he kind of goes past the Annie to make sure that, you know, he knows, hey, we're fine. Ruler's going to be able to secure that one. I'll be able to turn around. So optimizing and maximizing the potential to be able to get both kills in the end.
Sion ulti using the top side. Bit of a CS lead brewing up there, but that's a massive wave against Turret. So hold for the time being, guys, until we see what he gets at is, okay, never mind. You don't have to hold any longer. It's still pretty far behind. But you look at the rest of the lanes through here. 20 bot, about 15 through mid. Every other lane for JDG yet again. When they suffer in one lane, Lyric, they excel in others.
They've been so great at like allocating resources and making it so that, you know, they know where they're strong, they play to where they're strong, and even if let's say in a game that gets exploded, they're always able to allocate resources elsewhere. Ruler really putting down the punishment on the YaoYao there. Is we can see on the mini-map, right? JDG picking up the Rift Herald, now panned over by the observers. So we're going to have another place where they can potentially get this one and start trying to break down these turrets, roaming the Ahri and Vi around the map. Because one thing about Ahri Vi is you're just able to engage from such a long range, get to places before enemy, like the enemy mid laner would be able to answer and find these picks to really start breaking the game wide open.
And it's Annie as Tippers does come out. Okay, the burst comes through. Again, that voiceover is in Mandarin. Why is Cho'Gath not in Mandarin? Because I remember playing Gentleman Cho'Gath in China, and I remember I can't speak that well in Mandarin, I'm sorry, but it was definitely not in English. And it's bothering me. It's just one of those things that's bothering me. Ladies and gentlemen, when you see Cho'Gath next, just keep your eyes on him. He's speaking in English, and I still can't decipher as to why. As Lyric, Herald's gone, by the way. That went over to Kanavi, and you know what? As he spots himself out, the rest of JDG are grouping up with him.
So,
but he's going up
I have
to
a
the top
question
lane.
first. Did Cho'Gath like say in his voice saying like, Ni hao, wo jiao Cho'Gath?
No,
like that?
no, but he never announced his name anyway. But he...
No.
But it was in Flash.
Hoya.
Hoya. He's gone again. Well, that's just unfortunate.
Yeah, utilizing the fact that they run towards top side. Look at the mini-map. Controlling enemy jungle, getting on top of Beichuan. So not even going to be allowed in here. We're going to see, I wonder if they're going to take away this Krug camp with them leaning over. Looks like they might just back off at the end of the day and prioritize the tempo they get from resetting and coming back onto the map, because Dragon is going to be up in a minute, in, you know, about 10 seconds now. So starting to get the early foundation laid for that one, get the vision down, and start making their way towards, you know, an incredibly early soul.
God, 10 minutes in, again, it's happening again. 2,500. Lead mid, lead top. Well, yeah, I guess there is a lead top. or at least it's going even, which feels like great for Sion. Jungle lead. Divine Thunder just picked up. None of this Chem Punk Chainsword rush. Even bot. We've got a lead for Ruler once again. JDG just doing it in multiple lanes. It's 40 seconds, as you said. That early soul is a potential. JDG do have Scuttle down on this bottom side, and look at the vision. It's a red Christmas tree across Summoner's Rift. Like, there's 7, 8, 9 wards on the map. It's 10 minutes in. How do you even have that many wards?
Yeah, they're doing a great job of keeping up the vision.
Look at
and that's
the
why
top
it's gonna be so hard for TT to find these opportunities, right? I was excited to see this comp potentially get to play out in 5v5s, but JDG making it so they always know when members of TT are going to be grouped up. You can see them now setting up to look for a pinch before Dragon comes up. But Beichuan responding in kind is already here. The thing that would be a bit harsh is that Ucal still locked in mid lane, answering waves that Knight had pushed in.
This Dragon starts it off here. Now, speaking of that man, Tibbers and Flash is available, but JDG lure down in this bottom side rush. They're grouping up from TT's perspective. But Lyric, they don't have Hoya here. He's got TP, but he's nowhere to be seen. His Dragon goes down at 11.5 minutes. It's a double for JDG, but can they get the triple cheeseburger in 4.5 minutes?
Still trying to show. Oh, YaoYao.
Engage. Missing again. Oh, bounce house, baby. Eat him. Eat him. Good boy. Huanfeng got some nummies as here we go for Beichuan. The double spin rules in a bit of trouble. Chain Corruption was used up, but he flashes away. He kites it out and gets the kill. YaoYao's been poked down and doesn't want to go any further as Huanfeng has already been a bit of a gentleman. He's taken his share, but it is still a return for JDG.
1 for 1 at the end of the day. Knight able to answer back in mid like we're seeing now, gets some plates, realizes he can't impact the play, and we can see the top lane matchup kind of swapping around ever since we've gotten some resistances on to 369. Oh, good reaction by him. Hoya, really nice cue to get behind the Sion. Had he hammered him in the turret, that could have been a kill.
All right, arrow comes through, a bit of a miss, but I will say it was a nice step up from Ucal. Knight has been tippers many different times as Hextech Annie just doing that same burst. Rotobay just stacking up, so we're not at the damage point yet, but we'll get there. There's replay again. Here we go. I love this. I used to love jumping castles, and this is a bit of a revisit for me.
Once again, it's the CC chain that's able to get JDG locked down. Beichuan wanting to follow up because he has Cyclone and Flash. Beichuan able to respond with the ulti, and then the kite out from Ruler. Rupture actually trying to go in before the exits came out. So maybe could have been more had that been able to land, but it isn't there. And again, the big thing to me is still just a gold lead for JDG. I would love to see like a content piece that is like a gang, like a rap video. Do you remember the one like G2 put out in like season 6 or whatever? You have like Sped and Trick, and there's like money and rap music. Just like, it's great. If you haven't seen this like piece from G2 back in like 2016, it was an absolute banger. I don't know what you would look up. G2 League of Legends gangster rap video-esque thing,
Bro.
but I think it was like an MSI promo or an LEC like playoff promo or something.
How much content do those guys have in the LEC? Like, where is our rap video? They did one that was like, you know, one of my favorite bands. What was it, Lyric? What's one of my favorite bands? I should know. Hang on. What's their name?
Wait, you're asking me one of your favorite bands.
Pump It. You know the song Pump It?
Oh, there we go.
The 80s stuff. But who's the artist? Do you remember?
Electric Callboy.
Electric Callboy, their name is now. And LEC did one a little bit similar, just gonna say, with like the sweatbands and everything, and I think it was Vedius.
To be fair, they did say aesthetically it was an influence, so.
Oh, yeah.
Power to them.
But dude, where is our video, you know? Like, their content piece, almost as good as this plays. Ruler's caught out. Actually, maybe it is, but however, Ruler survives. JDG bringing the whole French unit as 369 follows in. Knight's there now. Huanfeng run away. It's a triple kill. Could this be Knight's moment in the sun? He's got a quadra. He's got another reset. Knight 9. Chase it down. YaoYao's run back to base, so no Penta today, but JDG, it's like walking into a fancy French club in your thongs. You don't belong here, TT.
JDG came in today with one thing on their mind, They're locked into playoffs. They will be the third team to lock it in with this win, and it just looks like a sure thing coming through. Beichuan, they try to find Ruler. They hope to lock him down, and they do, but the cleanse coming out and then buying space with missing Enchanted Crystal Arrow. But on the backside, 369, Kanavi Knights running down this backline. Resets galore for the Ahri and able to pick them off one by one. Man, JDG just looking unstoppable today.
So good. And again, I just
And
need
you know
to do
why?
context.
Wait, no. You know
No,
why
no,
this is
okay.
happening? It's because you said it was Jamada's birthday. That's why
wasn't.
TT are getting
It
stumped.
was my partner's brother's birthday, and I thought it was Jamada's, and then I realized it's not until the last day of the LPL split. So I'm off by about, what date is it? I'm off by 16 days.
There you go. If you needed
2
a
weeks.
reason to tune into the last day of LPL,
Hang
tune
on.
in for Jamada's birthday.
I need to stop myself from getting fired. Americans or anyone else, thongs are flip-flops, okay? Not
Yes.
the other thing. All right, we're
That's
not.
true.
They come in pairs.
It shows how much I actually live outside of my home country that my mind didn't even associate the other thing until you said so.
Well, that's
But,
good. Yeah.
But yeah, exact culture. As
Flip-flops.
we see JDG right now, a team of culture. Beichuan going to try and take that away from them.
They're
Smite,
8,000 gold
not
down,
up.
though. At
Yeah,
16
they can't
minutes,
take
how do you
away
win this
anything.
fight?
You can.
369 meanwhile, as they all just
Oh, maybe
jump
they
in.
do.
Brawler's targeted again. Ignite. This time they kill him. But Knight has joined the party. There's the first kill as TT are in a choke. Knight's running in. Everybody run away. Kanavi sets him up. A Spirit Rush again. He won't be set up for the quadra kill, but he'll set up for death and destruction. Jing Dong, a top tier talent. Knight, this is just a day in the office, dude, as he finds the gentleman Cho'Gath. Look for the final mark. Huanfeng will be ace, and Jing Dong, this is too easy.
Someone needs to find that and I took it personally meme and put Knight in there because my God, that game one, that must have pissed Knight off because it showed coming into this
25
game.
stacks.
Like, that was as good as you could hope for from TT. You caught out Ruler, you killed the tank, and then Knight Kanavi come jumping in, and that's all she wrote. They were just done for. Now, almost a 10K gold lead. We're going to jump right into the replay here. I thought there was no hope for TT, but YaoYao going in, and JDG funneling into the back of the pit opened up for Ruler to go down. And again, Knight pushing in mid. Now left to deal with Beichuan. Gives TT room to take down this Sion. It does take quite a bit of time, does buy space for Kanavi Knight to come in,
Yeah.
and then the combo of the ultimates, the charm comes out, there's one member down, the resets come through, and you can just keep funneling forward as this Ahri, taking people down one by one.
We saw EDG versus LGD earlier, and it was a very different experience for a top team. You know, JDG are acting like a top team here in this series, and TT are relatively a harder opponent. They have been decent enough in the early game, but JDG have given them no breathing room whatsoever. It's a 9K gold lead, and they are approaching Seoul at 24 minutes into the game. Knight is 9-0-5 with 25 Majai stacks. You're damn bloody right he took that personally. He is out for a vengeance. And his death note right now, everyone's names have already been written in. He's 3 levels above Ucal, 50 CS above Ucal. Knight, this is the kind of performance that everyone talks about when LPL goes to international, but very few global fans have ever seen.
Knight just always been a standout. Again, domestically, in the regular season, in playoffs, able to show those performances right now, looking to collapse the Enchanted Crystal Arrow.
It's perfect, isn't it? There's the charm. Knight again, 10-0-5, 15 out of 16 kill participation. All right, yes, Spirit Rush. Beichuan's there. Knight's thinking about going in again as TT are in the brush. He takes it, gets the charm. What? He hit the middle of the clone. Predicts it as Knight with the Spirit Rush. One more charge. Here comes the Ram Jam. The train. Knight forces a flash. You absolute madman.
Knight really is just single-handedly taking over this game. I guess Kanavi as well, going in, linking up these guys, constantly jumping forward together. Single-handedly was the complete wrong word, but my God, like this JDG, again, it doesn't matter if they drop series. Their last series was a loss against OMG. They always are able to bounce back and show you why they're the team that it just feels like you can bet on them to win it all. They start off great sync up coming from Missing, coming from Kanavi, and then Knight, and then Kanavi the one to keep it going. But you hit the nail on the head. Knight is the one to highlight here. Goes forward with the charm. The prediction to come through and just gets it perfectly. Oh, wait.
No. Another
kill.
Keeps
going. It keeps
18
going.
out of 19. Dude, I wish you could buy another Beichuan. I wish you could buy Sword of the Ucal. He needs something to stack at this point. This game is over, yes. But with 19 kills, JDG, I'm sorry, EDG might be above them even after this. LG might be above them. I think this is our best LPL team. I think this form is unbeatable. If JDG are playing like this as the Arrow, this is what happened in the replay. Just beautiful.
I feel like JDG are a team with the highest high available, right? They are, whether or not they come out at the end of the day, and Enchanted Crystal Arrow comes out, he's going down. He's going down.
Well, he will soon, won't he? You just got to walk away at least.
I think they have the highest skill ceiling in the LPL. Again, on the day, can EDG and LNG, maybe a Weibo at their ceiling, can maybe one of them beat JDG if JDG aren't playing up to 100%? Sure. But the skill ceiling on this team is absolutely just something that needs to be feared by anyone in the, like, I don't want to say it, but my God, give me them versus T1 already. It doesn't, like, just please give it to me. Could even be like like a show match literally tomorrow. I want to see it.
At this form.
Hell, I'm down. I'm down for like a 4-way show. Just give me, you know, the Fly Quest, the G2, the T1, and the JDG. Just right now.
Yeah. Okay.
And make it a 4-team show match in Summoner's Rift. Build 2 more Nexuses.
Oh my God, it's a Quadra Rift with many lanes. Don't walk there, don't walk there, don't walk there, don't walk there. Beichuan, only the clone hit, but 369. This guy operating at full capacity, even only at 2 items. Knight being shock blasted out of there, but he has a Rabadon's. That's a Rabadon's.
Knight has 4 items. Ucal hasn't even finished his second, man. Hasn't even finished his second.
Dude. This team wants something. They force the flash out of Ruler again. Targeting Ruler. Kanavi's like, okay, I'll get an Ocean Soul. And Beichuan, meanwhile, hit by a charm. This guy is a magnet to them. Dead again. Knight basically got a solo kill as JDG want to end it right here and now. It's only 23 minutes in, but they've got 20 kills. A double for Knight. This is the game. He deserves the Penta, ladies and gentlemen, as Hoya flashes away. Knight needs that reset. He autos for it. They give him the triple. Here's another Spirit Rush. 2 members back at base, but timing a little bit off. He's already picked up the Quadra this game. Knight, this is what he can do. This is what the international audience need to see. One of the greatest mid laners of our time in the LPL is styling on TT as JDG run up to the base. The flash from Kanavi. Knight not going to come through and pick up Quadra as the respawns are already there, but he's adding more and more glory to his great legacy and name. JDG's new mid laner, reunited with 369, is going to return to playoffs, and JDG in 2-0 fashion don't even break the 50-minute mark to show us they deserve to be the 3rd team locked here in 2023 spring.
We got to see the full variety of JDG in this series. 369 popping off in game 1. Ruler and Missing also having a great game. Game 2, it comes down to Knight and Kanavi, the one really holding it together in both games. The constant for JDG. And they're a team we all knew were going to make playoffs. But the fact that they're able to do it here, that they're able to do it so dominantly against, again, a competent team